Y estamos con el maestro Andy Serkis. How are you, sir?
Yeah, great to see you.
Nice to see you again. Now you have Mowgli.
Yes.
This very dark version of the Jungle Book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us more about it? Why did you do this version for the people?
Because I wanted to make a version of the story that was more about Mowgli's journey, and that it's not an easy journey where you think, oh, everything's going to be okay. This is about a boy who's growing up in the jungle who feels like an outcast. He doesn't belong to the world of animals, and he doesn't belong to the world of mankind. So it's about him emotionally getting to a point that he understands what his identity is. Mm-hmm. So it's a very it's a very intense film, you know. And the emotions are very raw, but I think it's a really touching film, and you know, because of the relationships of Mowgli to the animals, I think it's a very moving film.
Pack needs you, Mowgli.
What drew you to Mowgli and to that story specifically?
So the script landed on my desk in 2013, and it was, in a way, it was a real revelation to me, because I'd grown up, I knew the book as a child, and obviously, as we all probably, you know, we're big fans of the 1967 animation. But when I read the script, I realized that it was going very, very kind of deeply into the source material and the tone, more particularly, of the book. You know, Disney wanted to make their own version. But I didn't falter or worry, because I knew tonally it would be, you know, that they would be emulating the 1967 animation, that it would, by definition, being a Disney film, have to be a 4-quadrant family, very, very, you know, upbeat, using the songs, all of that. The relationship between Mowgli and the animals is very visceral and real, and that Mowgli has great actors to act with on set, you know. So for many reasons, it didn't kind of disturb me or sway me from the vision that I had.
Akira, why am I different?
You are special, little brother.
With this dark atmosphere that you put it around him, because the animals are very savage. There's flies, there's like the jungle, like the real jungle.
It feels real. That's one of the things that we wanted to do, was to make the jungle feel like it was a real jungle, not a fantasy sort of CG jungle. You know, we wanted it to feel there were dead leaves and, like you say, flies and all of those things in our version, and to connect that to the real world of the village too. And we went to where we were shooting. We came back and built our sets matching the rock, you know, matching the leaves, matching everything. So it felt very real. So that the animals and Mowgli, because it's a live action movie, you know, it felt like they were all in the same environment together.
Jungle is changing. Man is taking more of it. And the boy may just be our only hope of survival.
What is the biggest difference for you as a performer to be a live actor or performance capture?
So for me, and I've tried to explain this for many times over the last 2 decades, but not very successfully, apparently. You know, performance capture is, in a sense, just another array of cameras that is capturing an actor's performance. So the process of embodying the character, creating the role, is exactly the same as any role that I've ever created as a live action actor in a costume and makeup. But you know, and you go through the process of going on set and working with the director and discovering the scenes and shooting the scenes in a very regular fashion. It's just that you're not wearing costume and makeup, you're wearing a head-mounted camera with markers on your face, and those other sets of cameras are filming your performance in 360 degrees and not in 2D on a screen. But the process of shooting the animals on this started with the design of the animals, and crucially, the real thing that I was chasing was this film is seen from Mowgli's point of view. So the animals are seen from a particular point of view, a young boy's growing up point of view. So I wanted to have the actors' faces in the faces of the animals that they were playing.
Of course, you are the master of the motion capture. You have to direct all the actors
Yeah.
with this.
I mean, the thing is, they were all so supremely talented. The cast, you have Christian Bale, Kate Blanchett, Benedict Cumberbatch. It's an amazing all-star cast, and they were all really excited about playing their characters and exploring how to play the physicality of the role, but also really searching about the character they were playing. So not just pretending to be a tiger, but who is Shere Khan? What does he represent? What is his history? Why does he hate man so much? And Benedict Cumberbatch, like all of the actors, really got inside those characters.
Wolf's supposed to be with other wolves.
He's not a wolf. I've seen the way you look at the village.
How did you do? Because when you made the Planet of the Apes, you walk like an ape. It's kind of very similar for the human.
Sure.
But you have to make a panther or a bear or a snake.
Yeah.
How do you do?
You're absolutely right. So this is like a hybrid version of what we would say is performance capture and animation. So for all of the when a panther is running fast, it's animation. It has to be, because you could never run as fast as a panther. But when they're moving, or when they're in close-ups, or when they're relating to Mowgli, it's all acting. So it's a combination of great physical animation and then acted performance, and all of the facial expressions, all of the they're looking into the eyes. The eyes were designed to represent the actor's eyes, so you really felt that you were engaging with them.
All I've ever wanted.
You study their movements. Do you go through lessons with biologists just to really understand what they behave like?
Yes, I mean that's the first stage. The first stage is basically doing research, understanding the physicality or the behaviour, or all of those things. You study. You go to a zoo. You go in the wild. Rowan, who played Mowgli, actually went and stayed in a wolf sanctuary and slept overnight with wolves to see, how it would feel. I mean, he went the full distance.
You have this amazing cast with you in this movie. How did you go through the process of casting them?
No. I mean, I think they all took the job because they wanted to explore, aspects of the craft that they hadn't really, apart from Benedict Cumberbatch, who played Smaug in The Hobbit. The others hadn't engaged with performance capture, but I mean, so they came to it because they really loved the script, first of all, and the characters, and then the technology was something that they knew they were going to have to embrace, and I think they really wanted to enjoy the act of playing, and really pushing themselves and finding a character that isn't necessarily, this far away, but right over there, and really having to go the distance to actually achieve a character. And they asked me on the first day, what's the secret of acting using performance capture technology? To which I said there isn't a secret at all. It's you do what you do, which is you use your imagination to become other, and that's what you're doing. It's just that you do the research and then you bring it back to you.
You are one of them.
And they have to make all the roars and
we made all the roar. So all of that kind of movement, the breath, the roars, all of that. It starts with we then boosted them with animal sounds, but you see the chest moving, and it's related to how it comes out of the mouth, or you get all of that in the performance.
Always be my son, Mowgli. Nothing can ever change that.
The great thing about this tool is that. And I realised this going back as far as Gollum, and in fact it was at the end of playing Gollum, which was just motion capture at the time, so it was just the physical capture, and then Peter Jackson asked me to play King Kong, so I suddenly realised that going from being a small hobbit to a 25-foot gorilla meant that it was the end of typecasting for actors. That there was suddenly this technology which meant you can play absolutely anything, and over the years since, that technology has enabled all sorts of actors to play all sorts of characters, creatures, beings, and I really do. That's what really I suppose has fired me up and made me passionate about it for all this time, because a lot of actors get to a point where they just see themselves on screen all the time, and actually they really do crave the idea of being able to transform completely. So if you're working with an actor-director, often you really have there's an unspoken language, but you can really help. I think you can really create the right atmosphere for them to do their best work, and that's, I think, one of the greatest things that I learned.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, man.
Fail!